Welcome to the MacJury. This is the home of truth, justice, and the Macintosh way. I'm Chuck Joyner, and folks, we've assembled a very varied panel this time around to share some holiday gift ideas. We didn't just want to get some of the usual things, so we didn't get some of the usual people. We reached out to some alumni and one new person, and we'll go around the table right now and let you know who you're going to be hearing from. First up, back from globe-trotting all over everywhere, Miss Jean MacDonald. Jean, it's great to have you back. Australia, California, where else? Everywhere in between, I guess.
Well, the Great Barrier Reef and New Caledonia. I'm Jean MacDonald from Smile, and we're the makers of PDF Pen and Text Expander and Disk Label, as you may know. And I just came back from MacMania 15, which was fantastic, and I love Australia, and we got to see an eclipse, total eclipse. That was really cool. So anyway, that's why I might look a little depressed to be back in Portland, where it's like dark already and rainy and cold.
You didn't bring that cute koala with you either.
No, I don't think they would let that on the plane.
Probably not.
Well, next up, you just heard her voice, Ms. Melissa Davis, excuse me. Melissa, a very cheerful Melissa this time around. Welcome for your first time on the MacJury.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here. I've got my stocking, and hopefully we'll talk about some nice little goodies that we can fit in here to gift our loved ones. And I'm Melissa Davis, like you said, and you might also know me as the Mac Mommy. You can find more about me over at themacmommy.com.
Melissa, you're way too into this with the hat and everything. It's
Somebody's got to be.
Yeah, that's true. Someone who hasn't been here for a while, Mr. Weldon Dodd. Weldon, it's great to have you back. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Thanks a lot for inviting me again, Chuck. So, for those that don't know me, I run Rewind Tech. We're the Apple Authorized Training Center in the Mountain West here. Glad to be back.
Great. It's good to have you. And last but absolutely not least, a very smoky Mr. Jeff Gamet. Jeff, it's great to have you. Thanks for coming.
And thanks for having me on. I feel kind of underdressed because I don't have a Santa hat on.
I know.
Yeah. So, all right, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Jeff Gamet, managing editor for the Mac Observer, and today the Santa hat-less man.
But we didn't hear of pants status, Jeff.
I could tell you, but then I'd be taking all the mystery out of our relationship.
Some mysteries are best left untouched. Yeah, agreed. Yeah. Well, let's, as I said at the top, we're talking about holiday gifts, and that can be something you want to give, you want to get, or you think people should be giving. And so we'll do ladies first. And Melissa, we'll give you first pick since you're so into it and since this is your first time. What do you have for us?
Well, how many would you like to hear about? Because I have quite a few, but I didn't want to the whole show.
The way we do it is we just do one and then go. Yeah, we kind of go around the table, and that way nobody gets to steal all the good ones.
Okay, sounds good. Let's see. I'll just see what I pull out first of my
She's really putting us to shame. Props.
I only got two up here. I want to talk about this one later, so I'll set that one aside. Isn't this cute? Isn't this adorable? Wouldn't this make like the perfect little gift to stick in somebody's stocking? It's a USB drive.
It's a USB turtle.
It's a USB turtle. I don't know that they've really spent a lot of time on the design of this, because when you do plug it in, you end up with turtle butt. But it's cute nonetheless. So, but this is a cute little thing for any student or just anybody, or even techs. You know, I carry around usually I carry around some software in here to make it a little bit easier when I'm working with clients and instead of downloading stuff. So that's my little holiday pick and I am partial to the turtle, but you can find these in all kinds of. Gene, I bet you can find even a koala if you look hard enough.
So I have to ask, does pulling out a turtle USB have any effect on your clients, Melissa?
No, usually they're just overwhelmed by the cuteness. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Usually, it's people. It kind of goes over their head, So.
Gene, how about you?
Well, I have several good ones too, although nothing quite as well. I have a cute one I'm going to hold back for right now. Nobody steal it. The one that's been on my mind the last week that I love is the Fitbit. How many people have a Fitbit? Anybody have one besides me? I think, Jeff, you have one.
It's on my wish list.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I actually have 2 right now.
Wow. Well, the Fitbit. So the Fitbit is what it's a little. And I would show you my Fitbit, but I lost it in Australia.
Oh no!
So I don't.
Well, I'll hold.
There's. Oh, good. Thank you, Jeff. So it's really small. I mean, it's really like about the size of your thumb. And it's a clip. Well, the one that Jeff is showing, that's the Fitbit Ultra. That's this past year's model. I got it for myself.
That's the new one, the Fitbit
for
one.
That's the Fitbit one. That's the new one. And actually, I'm glad you have both because I wanted to talk about that. So I got that Fitbit on December 31st last year. It was a perfect New Year's resolution thing to have because I wanted to walk more. And the Fitbit tracks your steps, and it syncs with your computer, and it tells you, how many steps a day you take. And you could be appalled at how little you move if you don't pay attention. Computer geeks, and you know who you are. I know I can go a whole day with less than 500 steps if I don't move away from the computer much. And with the Fitbit, I challenged myself to do more every day. I started out going for 10,000 steps a day, which is a sort of common wisdom. That's what you should do. Don't do that. That's that's the classic stupid exercise thing of going too fast, right in the beginning and trying to do it all. So my knees and my ankles started bothering me, and so I scaled it back to 5,000 and then worked my way back up to about 8,000 a day, which was great. And the main problem with the Fitbit is it is small, so you can put it in your pocket or you can clip it on to, workout pants or under things, as it were. But
except for Jeff, who doesn't wear any pants. So.
I know. There is actually a little wrist band that you can slot it into if you want to use it as a sleep tracker, which I've done that too, and it's pretty handy for that if you want to figure out if you're getting decent night's sleep. But you can lose it very easily. In the first week, I dropped mine somewhere, and I had to trace my steps back a whole mile before I found it, and the whole time I'm thinking, damn, all these steps that aren't getting counted. Right, they don't get logged. And I was wishing there was something like Find My Fitbit. There really needs to be that. But anyway, so I always found it again. I really try, very hard not to lose it. People put it through the wash very easily, thing to do. But on the last, no, well, I think it depends, but I wouldn't count on it.
The new one is somewhat water resistant, right?
Is that right, Jeff?
The new one is a little more water resistant than the old one, and I guess it's more accurate to say it's a lot more water resistant. So yeah, it should be able to withstand a lot more. Although I wouldn't wear it in the shower, but if you're out in the rain, you shouldn't need to worry. And if you're doing activity where you're sweating a lot, you shouldn't need to worry.
Yeah, I believe it said it's sweat-proof, at least, for sure.
Well, I mean, I didn't have any problem with it, being water-resistant. But the problem, so the last day of the cruise, when I packed all my stuff and I got off the boat, and then I was like, where's my Fitbit? And I thought, I must have packed it into something and didn't realize it, but I didn't. I must have knocked it off my dresser and under a bed or something, and I didn't find it. And so Fitbitless, and I was really sad. And so last week, or actually a couple of days ago on Twitter, I said, okay, people who aren't using their Fitbit, please sell that to me. Because I want the old one, because I really, really liked it. And the new one sounds pretty cool. One of the advantages of it is that it can Bluetooth sync with your phone, so you don't need to put it into a little dock. But syncing isn't as important to me as holding it and being able to see how many steps I've taken on that day. Over time, it's interesting to see. And plus, when you have competitive friends who are your friends on Fitbit, you want to be sure you sync. But anyway, so the other thing about the One, though, that I'm curious what you think, Jeff, is it's not a clip. It fits into a clip. That's what I read.
Yes. Here's the clip that it goes into.
Now,
so it just kind of slides in.
Is it a pinch? Does it pinch like a clothespin kind of thing?
So to put it in, it's just a silicone thing that wraps around. But once it's in, then it's a metal spring clip.
Oh.
Okay.
And if you're worried about your Fitbit coming off and losing it, with this, you're not going to lose the clip. I could see you doing something forceful enough that you actually tore the silicone and the Fitbit fell out. But with this clip, it's not coming off. It's actually it's a mixed blessing. It's really difficult for me to get this on to like a pants pocket, which is typically where on jeans you have that little watch fob pocket. That's where I stick my Fitbit. And with the Fitbit Ultra, it just slides right on and slides off real easy. With this one, it takes a little bit of effort.
Yeah.
So
and
it's a
where is
trade-off.
the most ideal place to wear that clip? On your hip, or could you wear it on a lanyard, or you wouldn't get a good effect?
I don't
You
think a
wouldn't wear it on a
lanyard
lanyard.
is a good idea because it really does run count based on the movement of your body. And if you just have it sort of swinging, I think that you would get a false count and you wouldn't get all your steps counted. But you can clip it to your bra.
Yeah, there you go. Put it on your bra, or
I'd probably have a little bit
on
extra
your
movement there that I wouldn't want counted, though. Or maybe I would, actually. But isn't the difference between the new check?
There we
Isn't
go.
the difference between the new one that it counts stairs?
No,
Didn't
the
the old
old
not
one
count?
does. No, the old one does it too. Yeah.
Okay.
But there is a new cheaper Fitbit called the Fitbit Zip.
That's what I was going to ask you about, because it seems that's the one that I have on my list, because I'm kind of an insomniac, so I don't know that I want to pay the extra for the sleep management. It seemed like there was, difference in design. I mean, what else?
The Zip doesn't have the stairs. The Zip doesn't have the altimeter. And honestly, you want the altimeter because it encourages you to take the stairs instead of the elevator. And you
that's
won't
the problem here in the desert, though. There are no stairs.
Oh, well, then I guess you don't need it. That's a good point.
That's one of the things that I was thinking about. But then my other question is, I have a recumbent, and would it work with cycling at all?
It doesn't work with anything but steps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
but I love it. Yeah.
If you're cycling, it works in a manner of speaking. And so what you can do is go into the Fitbit app on your iPhone or into the web app through the website and log what your activity is. So it will know that you had heightened activity during whatever time frame. And so you can go in and say, during this window of time, this is what I was doing. And so then it will associate that with the specific activity you did. But it will also try and figure out what the steps were that you took. So like if I go out for a bicycle ride, I suddenly have like an extra 5,000 steps when I wasn't actually walking. But since it's linked to the bicycling part, even though the steps are wrong, I know that I'm still logging my activity, and to me that's the important part of that.
Right.
That's true. Well, I don't want to make this the Fitbit show, so let me just wrap it up with the price. I think the Fitbit One, which is the new one, is $99. The Fitbit Zip, I think, is $59.
It's around 60.
And I mean, you can't really get a bargain on them anywhere. In fact, if you want to buy the Ultra, it's actually the last year's model. It's more because they're in demand because some people want those, like myself. So I found somebody on Twitter selling me her old Ultra. And so I'll be set. By tomorrow, I'll be back to my Fitbit, and I'm very happy. But I would buy them
hopefully-
for others for sure.
Hopefully the developers will watch the show and implement a Find My Fitbit, because I think that would be really awesome.
I think it would be hard to implement in such a
Such a small space. Yeah.
yeah.
Anything is possible.
Interesting pick, Gene. I didn't realize that we were going to go quite that practical, but hey, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Weldon, how about if we get you up next? What do you have for us?
Yeah, I don't have any fitness tips for anybody, unfortunately. It's not my area of expertise, to be honest. But one thing I thought I'd mention is, well, I guess I should ask you first, Chuck. I didn't think to ask up front, but is this going to go out tomorrow?
Actually, probably not. It'll take a day or so to edit this. So we're recording this Thursday night.
Yeah. So y'all missed out on the Mac Legion holiday bundle then. Which would have been a good thing to buy for somebody if you heard about it before this podcast went out. But so I'll have to go with a safer choice, which would be an Apple TV. And
that's a great choice.
For $100,
It's in a stocking too.
There's so many people that could use it, even if they, if all they have is an iPod Touch, an iPhone, maybe they have an iPad. An Apple TV is a great addition to that. So it's I know of a lot of people that have kind of bought themselves iPads for Christmas. It's a big enough purchase; they have to negotiate it with their significant other. It's not, that part's not a surprise, but you could still sneak in an Apple TV and surprise somebody with a really cool accessory that lets you, stream audio, so you can share music over maybe your home theater system or your TV speakers. Lets you do video AirPlay so that you can mirror what's on your iPad onto your TV screen. And with some of the new iTunes features, with the Up Next feature in iTunes, there's some cool things that you can do with the iPad as a remote control for your iTunes library. So there's a lot there. The thing that I enjoy with our family about the Apple TV is that we have it on and we have our movies on there. And in fact, if you had bought that Mac Legion bundle, you would have got iRip included in there. But so we have all our movies on there. We use it fairly often, and when it's done and it's just sitting there, we see all our family photos scroll by on the TV screen from our iPhoto library. Because one of the things we've seen as parents is we take all these photos of our kids, and then they either sit in the computer or they maybe they go into a scrapbook. But the scrapbook only comes out every now and then. And so I really enjoy that we see all of these old family photos scroll by on our TV when we're sitting around, if we're listening to music or the movie's over and it's on the screensaver.
That's a great pick.
Yeah, agreed.
Definitely.
I just looked it up in the Apple Store. They're in stock and can deliver by next week. So you just answered a problem I was having trying to decide. Great idea.
And it is super easy to set up.
And it's becoming, I think, an essential accessory. It's almost not one that is an option anymore with all the things it can do, with all it delivers, and its integration with, now with OS 10 Mountain Lion, you can mirror your screen over to it even. So,
and that right there, that is complete fun for the whole family. And not just the family in your house, but then the family on the other side of the country, as I have with my family. And my dad and I are just loving he doesn't have an Apple TV yet, but I know that it's coming. He's going to want one because my little brother's getting one. And I also wanted to mention that I'm not sure about Netflix, but with Hulu Plus, you can gift a month subscription of Hulu Plus if you wanted to add that on as a little gift. It's like
that's a great idea.
So you can gift Hulu Plus with that, and then definitely take full advantage of the photo streaming and actually share your pictures with your other family members, and then everybody is watching it on, looking at these photo stream albums on their Apple TV, and it's really a lot of great fun.
Great. Jeff, you wrap up the first round. What do you got?
All right. Well, Gene inspired me, so I'm going to go with something that's health and fitness related also, and it's the Scosche Rhythm, which is this. And mine's flashing blue and red right now because it's not actually attached to me, so it thinks I'm dead. It's a heart rate monitor.
Oh, I've been looking for one of those.
Yes.
All right.
And and it syncs via Bluetooth back to your iPhone, and it has the buttons in it. They're multifunction buttons, so they also work as play and pause and volume buttons for the music on your iPhone. So you can control your iPhone with this while you're out exercising, and it's going to be feeding back your heart rate information, and then you can set in the app what type of workout you want to achieve. Like, are you working to build muscle? Are you working to lose weight? And so then it knows what your target heart rate should be based on the personal data you've put in, and then it lets you know when you are in your target heart rate zone and when you're too high or too low, and it gives you charts and stuff, and it's really cool and the way it works. And so it has a little Velcro strap, and you just slide it onto your arm like such.
So it's taking your pulse from your wrist?
From your forearm.
Okay, that's where you're supposed to wear it? Okay.
There we go.
Do they all come in that Ghostbusters yellow?
They're all Ghostbusters yellow.
Okay.
Yes.
How much?
I think they're $130.
I was going to guess around 100 or more, yep.
Okay. Very nice, Jeff. Very nice. Well, I guess my first pick, I'm going to go big or go home. And so I'm going to pick the MacBook Pro Retina 15-inch laptop. I'm sorry. And I'd love to hold mine up, except that it's kind of busy at the moment. But I have to tell you, this in my mind is a no compromises laptop. It replaced my 17-inch. I don't miss my 17-inch screen, and I knew I was going to miss my 17-inch screen. It is light. It may not be MacBook Air light, but it's more than light enough.
Significantly lighter.
Yeah, and it's so easy to carry around, and it just, again, it's a
solid,
no compromises machine. Yeah. And while you're doing it, just spend the extra money, get the bigger flash drive, get more RAM, because that's something that is difficult, if not impossible, to upgrade. Just go ahead and do it, and figure you're going to live in this machine for 2, 3, 4 years. You will be able to, because it's just that fast and that nice. So depending on your configuration, the price varies. You can check the Apple Store for it. But if you're looking for a laptop that doesn't represent a bunch of compromises, and you have cashed in some stocks before the capital gains thing kicks in next year and have nothing to do with the cash, this is where you want to park it.
Good one.
Chuck, what is user upgradable on that new machine now? Can you upgrade the RAM?
I think, Melissa, I don't know, because when I bought it, I knew that I wasn't going to be able to. So Otherworld Computing, I would be surprised if they haven't come out with something.
Right.
But
that's usually who I go to first.
Yeah.
I believe the RAM is soldered on for that
Is
model.
it? Oh,
yeah, the storage, the SSD, it should be upgradable.
I always hear people modding the storage, but it's the RAM that I usually, because I hate buying Apple RAM, sorry, but I'd rather get it from OWC.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, but at the end of the day, you figure you're going to keep this thing for a while, so just go ahead and invest in it, and it is truly a great investment.
It is. It really is. I just played with one yesterday. One of my clients just got it just this past week, and it's stellar. It's beautiful. It is fast. It's crisp. I mean, we've already closed the lid, open it back up. In fact, one of the interesting tests I thought was, I had her restart it. She was having a bit of a sound issue with just one of the apps. So I had to restart it, and I mean, it just, boom, opened up. We had 6 applications launched that were, in full screen mode. And I mean, not even, it was really fast. It was really fast. I was not shocked, but I was very pleasantly surprised at how fast it rebooted and put you right back to where you were.
Yeah, if there's a downside to this machine, that's it. It will spoil you very quickly. Yeah. Because picking up then anything else, I have not had my hands on a new iMac yet, but anything else, and you feel like,
it's gonna seem
come
slow.
on. Right.
Right. And it's all wireless. There's no Ethernet port on that thing. So something to think about if you're used to hardlining something. No more of that.
But there's another stocking stuffer for you right there. Thunderbolt to gigabit Ethernet adapter, which is what, like $30 or $40?
Yeah, something like that. Melissa, how about if we go back and start the round robin again with you?
Okay, so we were talking a little bit about some of the waterproof features of the Fitbit, and it made me think about this thing that I really like. And you'll notice that all my stuff is purple because I love purple. I got myself this to here we go, so that I could use my iPad in the bubble bath. So for the lady in your life, you might want to put together a nice little stocking stuffer of some bubble bath or some shower gels or, some pampering kind of things, and then add this to that gift for the lady in your life that has an iPad. And it's basically a glorified Ziploc bag, but it does work. It's about $20 on Amazon, and you can get them in different colors. Mine's in purple. And it basically, you put your iPad in here, and it's got 3 Ziploc zippers, and then in addition to that, it's got just about every kind of closure you can think of. It's got the Ziploc zippers, then it's got the Velcro enclosure, and then it finally snaps. So you zip it all up, and you roll it up, and you snap it shut. And let's see, I usually put it with the home button down here, and it's not meant to be any kind of like a screen protector. I mean, so don't expect, really great, clear, bubbleless quality or anything like that. It's really, you want to catch up on Breaking Bad or, some kind of show in your bubble bath, or that's probably not a good example, but I'm weird. What could I say? Or reading a book. I mean, for that kind of thing, it's fine. Or just even listening to the MacJury. You might want to watch us while you're in the bathtub. I don't know, for like that.
Well,
but
to be fair,
this would make a really good stocking stuffer gift. $20 on Amazon. It's probably not meant to be used for longevity. I mean, you do have to check the seams and keep putting a paper towel in here and dunking it and just making sure that it's still working. But it's been working great for me, and I love it.
Melissa, I can honestly tell you this is the first time in the history of any of my shows that the words bubble bath have been uttered. That's
what can I say?
Yeah, that's a little staggering. Weldon, how about if we mix it up and jump to you next? What do you have? Gotcha.
You mean ho ho ho?
Oh, right, that too. Well, I thought of a couple tangents off of what was said earlier. If people are sci-fi fans, there seems to be an overlap between computer people and sci-fi fans. Mimoco, I think, is the one that makes the funny little USB sticks, like Melissa was talking about. They came out with a line of Star Trek characters, and they have Star Wars characters as well. So
you have a little Ewok butt sticking out of your USB port instead?
That's right. Well, yeah, I mean, turtle butt, Ewok butt. I'm looking for somebody that makes Lord of the Rings ones or Hobbit tie-in USB sticks, because those I would probably buy.
What would that look like? Like a little head sticking out of your port, though?
I don't know. I want like an Ent one, actually. That's kind of what I'm looking for.
An Ent.
Maybe I could just tape tape a branch onto one of my existing ones and feel like I got
a ring on a necklace that you could wear, and then just unplug it, stick it in there.
I thought I'd go off a little bit on what Chuck was saying too about how nice that Retina MacBook Pro is. If you want some of that speed, then an SSD upgrade could be a good idea. It requires a little more technical expertise. Melissa mentioned MacSales.com. That's an outfit I would recommend you go to as well, because you can check and see which SSD will work with your machine, and you can see some video and instructions about.
Yep, they even teach you how to do it.
Yeah, so you can decide if you're up for that. Doing it on some machines are pretty easy and straightforward. Some of the MacBook Pros from a couple years ago had the little user removable lid, and the hard drive was right there. So an iMac, a little tougher to do because you got to pull the glass off and remove the screen thing. But it might be worth looking into. If you do have an iMac, a great upgrade would be RAM. RAM is super cheap right now.
It is.
For $50, you can get 8 gigs of RAM. And so if you got a machine a couple years ago that only had 2 or 4, going to 8 is going to make a big difference. If you've got $100 to splash out, you can go to 16 gigs on a lot of machines for just $100. And that makes a big difference. Mac OS X runs pretty okay on 2 gigs. It runs better on 4, and it runs great on 8 or more. 32 is probably overkill for most people, but 8 or 16 would be great. And just to round it out, one other item that I like is I really like this. Okay, so I was skeptical about the iPad Mini when it first came out. I wasn't sure. You know, I had an iPad with a Retina screen. I wasn't sure I'd like it, but 2 days in, I loved it, and I never picked up my other one. I move around a lot. I visit clients and spend a lot of time away from my desk, so I like that it's a real iPad, but it's smaller and lighter and easy to carry on. So another accessory to go with it, like the Apple TV, would be the Jella skins that you can put on the back. So instead of putting a big, bulky case on it that takes away from the thinness and the lightness and the easiness of carrying it around, one of those skins will help protect the back from scratches. You know, adds a little flavor and character to your iPad.
Yeah, you can customize
they're not that expensive.
Yeah, put the grandkids on
grandma's
grandma's iPad Mini. Wouldn't that be perfect for the grandparents or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I like that
idea.
better than a case myself, just because part of the appeal for the iPad Mini is that it's so thin. So why bulk it up? But a skin is great for a lot of people.
Very nice, Well, nice little package there.
Yeah, I got a few things in. Right?
Yeah.
A lot of value.
And I have something that dovetails into that, but I'll wait my turn.
Gene, let's bring you back in.
Well, something else. I guess I'm going on my Christmas list, which is things that seem I've already bought for myself because I'm getting another Fitbit. And the other night, I've been waiting for this to come out. Finding Nemo is now on Blu-ray DVD, and I bought the 5-disc Ultimate Collector's Edition. Since I was in Australia, and since we went scuba diving at the Great Barrier Reef, and I was in Sydney, I spent quite a bit of time in Sydney, I've been dying to see Finding Nemo. I've seen it since it came out, and I didn't know anything about Australia when I saw it. So this I think is really cool because I don't recommend it for people who have small children. Somebody was saying like, oh yeah, I want my 2-year-old to see that. And I said, no. And she says, well, there's that scary part in the beginning. No, the whole movie is scary. If you think about what it's about, it's just, protagonists in danger every 5 minutes. And there's scarier things than the Nemo losing his mother in the beginning. So I say, don't get this for your little kids, but get it for yourself. I got it from Amazon for $28, and the reason I got the Ultimate Collector's Edition is that it includes a digital copy. So I'll be able to load that onto my iPad, my big iPad, which I love, because I mostly use it as a portable TV, to watch stuff on, and that's what I think it's a great gift. I'm going to probably order some more for some other people after I get mine.
Very nice. Jeff, there's kind of a kid thing going on here that's among some of our panelists. How about you? Are you kid oriented? I know you're a big kid.
He is a big kid. What are you talking about?
I think Finding Nemo, that's an awesome present idea. So nicely done. I could go with something kid related. Okay, I've got it. I'm going to mix the two. For the adult kid in you, and no, I'm not going to take this down a path where we have to go adults only for the ratings.
I'll be good.
This is fun. I found this thing called the Command O doormat. And what it looks like is a big key from a MacBook Pro, and it has Command O down in the corner, and it's a doormat. And hold on, I have more info about it here.
I love this already.
That sounds great.
All right, so the deal is the Commando doormat, you can get it from a company called Menios, and it's MENI... crap. It's MENINOS.com. And so it's easy to clean. It looks like a giant MacBook Pro key, and it's just awesome. They probably cost a little more than some people want to pay, but hey, you can't make everyone happy. So they're like $70 for this doormat, but it's a really high quality doormat, and it's Command O.
That's great.
I like it, Jeff.
That would be something you'd find on thinkgeek.com.
You would think, but it's not there. And I had the URL wrong. It's actually MENINOS.US, not .com.
And
So,
of course,
meninos.us.
and this is a great time to say that I will have links in the show notes to everything if they can be found at all, so you can just jump right over and buy it wherever to have it in time for the holidays. Good pick, Jeff. This is really interesting. I feel kind of bad about my MacBook Pro. It was so obvious.
Yeah, but it's a really good gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially one to yourself.
Along with the MacBook Pro, since you may have just a little money left, and this is a personal bias, but I really like to take good care of my machines, and I like not to have them looking worn. Spec finally got their hard shell plastic case out for the MacBook Pro Retina, and I just got mine, and I love it. I've used these things on pardon me, every Mac that I've had for every MacBook Pro, I should say, for I don't know how long. They do add a little bit of bulk to it, but I mean just a little bit. The weight is very little, and it's great because we all do it. When we pick up our new Macs, you treat them with kid gloves, and boy, isn't this wonderful! Within 2 weeks,
unless you have kids.
Well, yeah. But within 2 weeks, you're running around like crazy. You're shoving it in your laptop or in your backpack, and you're not taking as good a care of it as you really intended to or would like to. And this will guarantee that when you pop it off and go to sell your machine or put it to other uses, it looks pristine. The only thing that ever looks worn on my MacBook Pros is the keyboard because of using it. It's about $40 from Amazon. You can get them now. You can also get them in colors. I'm kind of classic. I like just the clear, so it almost looks like there's nothing on it. But you can make your MacBook Pro dark. You can have colors with it, so it maybe camouflages the fact that it is a Mac. If you work in hostile environments to Mac users, hopefully there aren't too many of those anymore. But it's a perfect accompaniment. It will remember what I said about investment. It helps protect your investment. I'll tell you what, I'm going to mix the order up because two of our members do have a hard out. They have other commitments, and we know how that is. So, Weldon, I'm going to go back to you and ask you for another one to make sure we get you in one more time before you have to cut out.
Well, I was totally unprepared for that, Chuck. I'm a deer caught in the headlights.
Okay.
But,
well, I'll tell you what. How about we'll move over to Jeff if you want to give you a chance to look in Santa's bag.
All right, I'm done. Move on.
Okay.
That was it. TiVo Stream. It's kind of cool.
TiVo Stream, really?
Yeah. If you got an iPad, right? Well, it lets you stream. If you have a TiVo, you have to have a TiVo first. But if you're a TiVo person, TiVo Stream lets you stream shows from your TiVo to your iPad. So you could sit up in your bed and stream something that you have recorded on your DVR.
You can do that with the Xfinity app on iPad too, FYI.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, good. I have a TiVo. I've looked at the TiVo Stream and wondered. You're the first person I've heard that has some experience with one.
Yeah. It's it's $130, so it's not a cheap toy, but it's kind of cool. It's kind of fun. It does use up a tuner, so it's a little bit better if you have one of the 4 tuner models, so you don't get too many recording conflicts. But it is kind of a neat thing, and you can use it with the TiVo app on your iPad to save recordings to your iPad so you can take them with you.
That's good.
Very cool. Good one.
That was it. Thanks.
Okay, good. Jeff, you're the other guy that has to go because of your popularity, so I want to make sure you get this round in as well.
Okay. Do you want something practical or something just fun?
Yes.
All right.
I saw that coming.
Since I always do the so many things that are technical, I'm going to do the fun thing. All right. So I found they're coasters, but bear with me. They are coasters that are hand letterpress made, and they're from a company called Red Bird Inc. And it's $20 for a set of 10 coasters. They're white, and each one of them has a black number on them, so it's 0 through 9 on your coasters, and they look beautiful. And for people that are really into letterpress, they'll love this part. The company that makes these, they got a hold of a 100-year-old Chandler and Price letterpress. So they're actually taking each of their coasters, setting it in the letterpress, and going poof, and making it. So every one of these is handmade. The ink that they use does not bleed, so you don't have to worry about setting a drink on there and then just having your zero bleed out into this black blob. And they look really cool.
You know, it's practical too because it's perfect. You get it for a Christmas gift and just in time for your New Year's Eve party.
I like how you think. Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
That one? Yeah. So I turned what I thought was just fun into fun and practical without even realizing it.
There you go.
Very nice. Very nice. Let's see. Gene, since we seem to be going in kind of reverse order.
Okay. Well, now I have something that I don't have yet, so anybody who's got me on their list might think about this. And that would be the Squier USB Stratocaster guitar, which is a USB-enabled guitar that you can. I haven't played one yet. I've just read the reviews of them, and I like I like the idea of being able to record like directly into the iPhone or iPad or Mac. The Squier is generally the budget line of Fender guitars, so they're not necessarily the greatest, but people are giving them good reviews with that in mind. And so that's $200 at least if you buy it from Apple. Maybe sold only at Apple. It's an Apple Store exclusive. Whoa.
Good.
Okay.
That's interesting.
So it won't be hard to find when you need to buy it for me. So.
Thank you. Anybody you'd like us to mail a link of this show to, Gene?
They know who they are. I'm sure they're listening.
Melissa, how about if we get you to wrap this round?
Okay, so I wanted to share a little bit of DIY for this show because I know that a lot of people are on a budget, and I wanted to give you some tips for things that you can do for family members that won't really cost that much, and you can kind of make it just as special. So if you happen to have or can borrow or get your hands on a label maker of some kind, something like this, this would make actually a very good gift for the organized individual in your life. And you get, or even in addition to that, the tapes that go in here, they run anywhere from $10 to $15 to $20 depending on what you're getting. I like to get the clear tape that looks like this, and you can do a nice little fancy label. I just actually did this for my dad. He bought himself an early Christmas present, which was my third-gen iPad, because it, as everybody knows, the fourth one came out so quickly. So he said, hey, how about if I just buy yours? And so I set it all up for him, had a great time, and then I customized it too. So what I ended up doing was I made a label that has his name on it, similar to this one, and then I adhered it, because I got him the black one, and I adhered it on the back of this, and it's, when you peel this off, it's clear. And then what you do is you get a nice one of these little clear plastic cases, and these are really inexpensive. You can even get a 3-pack like I did, and then you have multiple gifts for people that you can do this with. You can get a 3-pack. I got this purple one for myself because I love purple. I got a blue one for my dad, and then it came with a matching blue stylus. And so I did the same thing on the stylus, and these make great little stocking stuffers too. Everybody loses styluses all the time, or styli, I think we discussed as the plural. So you can, I can't resist, but you can Gangnam Styli your stylus here and put a clear label on it and personalize it. Just wrap that around there and then put the person's name on it, and it's very clear, and it kind of has that engraved look to it. And the nice thing about when you put the label on the iPad and then you put this over top of it, it kind of blends that clear label right in, and it really does look like it's engraved, and then it's also colored too. And like Chuck, you were talking about the spec cases, this is very similar to that in that it's got kind of a glossy and then a matte feel to it. So it's very grippy. It's not something you're going to just, it's going to fly out of your hands. And it does add a little bit of bulk to it. But then I know what you're probably thinking, well, I like to have a folio cover over that. Well, I happen to have, and I got this for myself as a gift a while ago, one of those Rue cases. And it does add some bulk, so it is a quite tight fit. That's why I'm not going to do it right now, because it kind of takes a while to slide it in there. But you can fit the iPad with that very thin, I think it's called TPU jelly. It's a plastic casing that's on there, and you can fit that in here. And the nice thing about it, because I did learn this the hard way, the corners on the Rue case, I love the Rue case, but one downside is that the corners are exposed. And on my iPad 3, I did get a little bit of a nick on it when Keegan was playing with it and dropped it. So of course, it landed right on the corner, and so it got a big blemish on there. But having this case on it, this will protect those corners a little bit better, because it does wrap around the corners. So there's that. And then in addition to that, another thing that you could gift someone who already has an iPad or even an iPhone or any of the devices, I would highly recommend gifting a square trade warranty. Those make really great gifts. I actually gifted mine, and you could transfer them too. So since I already had mine covered, I transferred my warranty to my dad. The receipt is already uploaded, so he's good to go. So if his ever does get damaged, you can sleep a lot better at night. I used to be a real big proponent of screen covers, but as you know, the real estate on an iPad is huge, and it's really hard to adhere to those things. And after a while, it just kind of got to be more of a nuisance than anything. So with a square tray warranty, I sleep a lot better at night knowing that it's protected. So that's my idea for doing a little bit of DIY on some products that maybe people already have, or maybe people are getting a brand new iPad Mini, and that would be a nice time to have the label ready to go and get the case on it and personalize it for someone. So that's my DIY for this Christmas.
Guys, I have to tell you, this has to be the most eclectic set of gifts I think we've ever had on the MacJury. And I want to thank all of you for taking the time to share some of them, and I hope you'll come back again. Melissa Davis, Weldon Dodd, Gene MacDonald, Jeff Gamet, thanks for serving this time around. It's been a blast. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. And it was fun.
It was fun.
It always is.
And practical.
It always is.
And expensive.
And not necessarily so.
Folks, I will have links in the show notes to everything we talked about, as well as to the bios for each of our panelists, so you can see what they do when they're not hanging around with me on the MacJury. Until the next time, I'm Chuck Joyner. Thanks for listening. MacVoicesTV is part of the MacVoices Group at MacVoicesGroup.com. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at BackbeatMedia.com.